Dr. Cybele Dey is a child and adolescent psychiatrist who works as a staff specialist at the Sydney Children's Hospital Network, rural and remote areas of New South Wales as well. She is a conjoint lecturer in psychiatry at the University of New South Wales. Dr. Dey is a member of Doctors for the Environment Australia, co-chair of the DEA Mental Health Special Interest Group and co-chair of the Climate Psychiatry New South Wales branch group with colleagues from the Royal Australasian and New Zealand College of Psychiatrists. Please note as well, we will be finishing a little early today at 4:25, but we will make Dr. Dey welcome. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Lauren. Can people hear me? Yep. Okay, thank you very much. So I'd really like to, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I'm sorry we can't hear David Ritter, but I'm really grateful to be here and wanting to talk about how we can metaphorically put our own oxygen mask on first so that we can respond to the greatest health and mental health challenge this century, which is climate change. I'm going to just, the next slide. Sorry. So what I'm wanting to do on the next slide is to acknowledge that we're all on Aboriginal land, or if you're in the Torres Strait, on Torres Strait Islander land, and that sovereignty was never ceded. I'd like to acknowledge and pay respects to the people of the Kulin Nation, and I'm going to have to check so that I know which people, for having us here on our land, and I really appreciated the welcome that we had yesterday. And I'd also like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, whose land I live and work on normally. Okay, can you go to the next slide? Yep, and then we might keep going. Okay, so this is, as people who've seen Don't Look Up might recognise, actually a fictional picture, not a picture of someone out of role. This is Jennifer Lawrence playing Kate DiBiase, but I think she really conveys a sense of what a lot of people feel when they are aware of the climate science and trying to communicate it to people who are dealing with that information or avoiding that information in ways that don't involve allowing themselves to really hear it. And I guess for me, I quite like this, not because it's pleasant to see someone distressed like that, but I think a lot of people can identify with the sense of how frustrating and how challenging it can be. And I guess the point of this slide is really that it's actually adaptive and healthy to have some level of distress. The question then is, what do we do about it and what's our role as health professionals? Next slide. Great. So I'm kind of cheating because I have my co-chair here on the video, Dr. Anna Seth, who is an amazing GP in Tasmania, and she made this video with two School Strike for Climate activists, Chloe McCann and Lucas Shield. She really shares with us, I think, a lot of what we need to be doing for ourselves and what we can potentially offer to others, including our patients. If we can start the video.
Hi, my name is Anna Seth. I'm a GP and a mum. I'm speaking to you today from Nipaluna, Hobart, on the land of the Muinina people. I'm passionate about the need for urgent climate action and also for the need to look after our mental health and well-being in the face of this challenge. It can bring up a lot of strong feelings when we start to really understand the reality of climate change. It's very normal to feel worried or scared. You might feel deeply sad, despairing, overwhelmed. You may feel frustrated and angry. You might even feel that the situation is hopeless and nothing you or anyone else can do can change that. All of this is understandable. The situation is serious and urgent. A lot of terrible things have happened and continue to happen to lead us to this place. It would actually be more unusual to hear all of this and not feel any painful emotions. I'm certainly not here to tell you that what you're feeling is wrong. I'm not here to tell you not to worry or not to be angry. I'm here to say that I feel that way too, as do literally millions of people around the world. You're never alone with this. The challenge is, how do we find the courage to do what's right in the face of all this? Not to just switch off, turn away, and hope that it'll somehow work out for the best, or just decide that it's a lost cause and give up? How do we keep going when we meet resistance, or what can seem like willful ignorance, unchecked greed, or just plain lack of respect for humanity and the planet? How do we hold on to hope when the future is far from certain? It isn't easy, but here you are. I certainly don't have all the answers, but I do have some ideas that you might find helpful. Firstly, build a network of support around you. Connect to others who share your concerns and values. Amplify and lift each other up in relationships which are mutually supportive. Talk to the people in your life about why acting on climate change is so important to you, and ask them to support you. If they can't or won't support you, then try to find people who can. Remember that you can talk to your GP, school counsellor, or any mental health professional about this too. Secondly, get personal with nature. We've developed this weird idea that we're somehow separate from nature. Lots of aspects of our lives maintain this illusion, though Indigenous cultures around the world have never lost sight of our connection to this whole shared life of the planet. It's a deep connection we can feel in our heart if we're willing to tune into it. Take a moment today to go outside and pause. Breathe in, breathe out, feel the breeze on your skin, feel the ground beneath your feet. There is no separation. We are part of this great web of life we are striving to protect. In fact, we are entirely dependent on it. When we take action to look after Earth, we also nurture ourselves. And when we take the time to look after our own well-being, we also care for Earth. Care for self is care for planet, and vice versa. Just as we now know we can't take from the Earth and still expect it to function, the same is true of us. As we work together to build a sustainable world around us, let's also build that inside of us. Refuse to get used up and worn out like so many of the Earth's resources. Take rest when you need it. Switch off when you need a break. Nothing in nature is on the go all the time. Show the same compassion to yourself that you do for the world. Be deeply grateful to Earth and all it provides for you. And likewise, acknowledge every action you take, no matter how small, that goes towards making the world a better, kinder place. Thirdly, it helps to see the big picture. Humans have overcome incredible adversity and difficulties in the past through our collective effort and determination, and we'll get through our current challenges too. Millions of people around the world have made it their life's work to create a better future. People everywhere are doing their part, big or small, and it all adds up. You don't have to save the world single-handed. You just do what you can with what you have today, but do not underestimate your power. You might not see it straight away. It might be some small thing, a conversation or a simple action, but it starts a cascade of change that flows through others. The future is not yet written, and we cannot know for sure what will happen. We can listen to the message our feelings have to tell us about the state of the world, and choose not to push them away, but accept them. Learn skills and access the support that we need to respond in ways that matter. True courage is doing what you know to be right, even though you cannot be certain of the outcome, because standing by is unacceptable. It's a bold and radical thing to do, but we can do it together. Let's start by building kindness and compassion for ourselves and extend that vision to include the whole planet. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks very much, everyone. I'm just going to skip over the next little bit. Try to skip over the next little bit. Oh, stop. Okay. So the other thing I just wanted to touch on before I hand over to the amazing Ricky Dank, who is going to be speaking to us online, is just to comment that it is really important for us to pay attention to and take care of what happens for us and others. And the mental health impacts of climate change include a whole lot of other things. I'm going to just skip through this. If we can keep, yep, great. Oh, actually, just stay with the last one, please. Yep. So you're welcome to come and see the poster outside. Take-home messages are that in addition to climate distress, which is real and important and matters, we also need to be preparing our health system and taking note of the extent of the impact of heat. So this is not just global warming and worry about climate change. This is actually that heat increases mental health admissions, mental health presentations, significant suicidal behaviour and interpersonal violence, and that the mental health impacts of extreme weather events are very serious. So this is important for us to plan healthcare and to inform mitigation. Okay, we'll just skip to the end. Yep, keep going. People can come and ask me about that afterwards, and there's just a little resource page, and then I'm going to stop. Sorry, one more. Two more. There we go. Great. So just to note that there are some wonderful resources out there, and it's worth really taking advantage of them and accessing them. And I'm available and happy to talk more about this afterwards, but I'm aware that it's time to hand over. Okay. Thank you.